What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to Hero X, this time with episode 10, I believe it is. A really good episode last time. Thank you guys for all the comments on the video as well. Some really interesting theories and probably a lot of very accurate stuff to those theories. People were theorizing that it could be the fact that Cyan's ability is not quite just like pure luck. It's more so like changing luck to like to where it is, so like almost like front loading it a little bit, so all the luck would ever happen to you in your life has been front loaded to now, and then after that you're just like stupidly unlucky. We see the or something disastrous happens per se, so you get a lot of luck, and then the payment for that lot of luck you get right now is some very unfortunate unlucky events that happen. We see like a zombie apocalypse at the end of the episode, maybe that telling us that what happened on that plane was more so not just an accident, but it was her fault. People were again theorizing that the kid was on that plane as well, and I think something about his parents dying. So lots of interesting theories I did read over the weekend, so I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of that probably in fruition today. Again, it made a lot of sense to me kind of looking back on the episode. But yeah, it was another pretty good episode, wasn't it? It wasn't quite as eventful as the first episode. I still honestly think that first episode with Lucky Cyan might be my favourite episode of the series so far. So hopefully we can continue in that same manner today. Let me know what you guys think about this one though down in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you guys would like, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. And let's get into it. Maybe it's, I don't know, I was going to say, maybe it's a thing of like you always need her near you. It was like a lucky charm, and as soon as that lucky charm's gone, it's almost like an aura of luck. And then when you're out of that for a while, it starts catching back up with you. I don't think that's the case considering the whole plane stuff, but just interesting to think about. I don't think she wants a new guitar, does she? That honestly looks like a piece of shit. Give me the old classic flaming design on the guitar any day over that. Makes sense. And to bow an arrow. Without an arrow. What's the point in that? Yeah. You ever seen her use a bow and arrow? Here is the reality of being a hero now, isn't it? All this. Here comes the commercialization side of things. Which has probably been done plenty of places, but I always do think about the boys with stuff like that. I do kind of agree with a lot of people. I think the boys, as the series has gone on, has got very, I mean, it was always like kind of in your face, but like even more so just like very blunt as to the message and the stuff it's referencing. And it's just getting less enjoyable as it goes along because of that, I think. It's still fun. But yeah. I think they lost a bit of the magic in the original seasons, but I always did like that aspect of the show, that whole kind of commercial side of things. Honestly, that shot there looks like the new trailer for Resident Evil 9 with the goddess statue kind of hit by the bomb. With a legendary RPD. But yeah, I do I'm questioning like the structure now. Like is this going to be the final episode of Lucky Cyan? I think the last arc was only 3 episodes, right? The last couple have been 3 episodes. I think it was 4, 3, 3. Or so far, 3. Damn, look at this place. Oh, thought it would like turn into a forest. Yeah, I assume she'd be back here. So, did we not see him turn into a zombie last episode? Pretty sure we did, right? Crocodile tears. Quite incredible this guy's like acting like this. Like she ruined everything. So they're not all zombies? What was that about then? Yeah, okay. Well, I still don't really know how to feel about that. Like I said, I did hear some people talking about like the case that she perhaps caused the plane crash. I feel like with her ability, there wouldn't be a plane crash. Like, I mean, evidently she was the only survivor of it, so I feel like it maybe was just unfortunate that there was a plane crash. I don't feel like it was her fault. I feel like, again, if her power was powerful enough at that point that it had like her luck would bring the adverse effect of causing a plane crash, just her being in the vicinity, there wouldn't be a plane crash. So I feel like, again, this is all speculation. I feel like her numbers or whatever would be below 2 digits, and she only had enough luck at that point in time for only her to survive. Maybe it was just like she had just one person trusting her or whatever, in her trust value, and that one kind of equated to her survival and obviously equated to no one else's survival on that plane. Maybe if it was like 20, maybe 20 people would have survived or something. I don't know. Again, purely kind of speculating here, but I feel like if her luck power was not powerful enough to stop the plane crash and in general that she was on, surely it wasn't like the adverse is true that it wasn't the alternative effects of that luck wouldn't be powerful enough to take down a plane, right? Or maybe she used it before and it all kind of accumulated, almost a bit like Nanika from Hunter x Hunter. Maybe it's kind of like a similar ability to her kind of wish granting, which would be quite interesting. I always did like that arc quite a lot in Hunter x Hunter. So yeah, I feel like it might not be the case that she's like the fault of it, but having her as the only survivor of that, I guess might, I don't know. There's maybe a few kind of questions about some of the theories I did hear last week, but I feel like for the most part they brought up some really interesting and good points. But yeah, what's happened now? Because a few times in the show we've had these kind of fake outs, and I'm not sure how to feel about them. People always keep saying that they mean something, even if they seemingly get kind of reversed, like what we're seeing here. Maybe that's a shot from further in the future than now, but I don't know. So it just stands to make the endings a little bit less impactful when you keep ending on these cliffhangers just to kind of reverse them. Makes them impact me a little bit less. Something we were meant to be shocked at last week is just no longer a thing. That is an interesting point as well, though. There, to be fair, if maybe perhaps she took all the luck, perhaps there maybe might have been other survivors. I very much doubt it because it was a plane crash, but perhaps there could have been other survivors, and she took all their luck and survived. Like perhaps the survival rate of that was less than 1%, but it was possible someone else would have survived. But just by her being there, she took that luck of someone else perhaps surviving. Well, this is just like stupid, isn't it? Blaming. Jesus. I mean, I say this is stupid. I mean, some of this stuff genuinely does seem to be impacted by her, but just passing off any bad luck as her fault seems a bit crazy. So is this how the zombie stuff started? He's got this weird kind of miasma. Perhaps this is how the zombie stuff started. Okay. Jesus. You're bubbling. Okay. So we did get here. Like I said, I feel like I'm totally within my reason to doubt that this happened at the end of last episode, considering had similar events not happen in the past. Well, I wouldn't say similar events, but holy shit, this whole place is. Jesus. Hmm. We're all getting cancelled. Interesting. So what, like, just to what is it that's actually caused this per se? I mean, it's easier to say that her ability of luck, the adverse to that, has caused this, but specifically, like, it seems like these like little bits of water are like poisoned or something. There's something in the water. I think they did mention something about it here, right? Food poisoning incident. This is the third severe incident last month. Water quality incident involving excessive heavy metals. And we're seeing the water here, and that's what's kind of caused this. Kind of like zombie water. Reminds me a little bit of one of my favourite zombie movies, Return of the Living Dead. I love that movie because it's a slight spoiler here, but it's like 50 years old. It's got like a similar kind of they again spoiler here. They burn a zombie's body. The zombies are really hard to get rid of. It's one of those ones where even if you like cut the hand off, the hand will still be moving. If you cut the head off, which is usually like a surefire way, or even destroy the brain. If you cut the head off and destroy the brain, the body will still actually be moving and still be alive. So it's like one of the best depictions of zombies in my opinion, because they're one of the scariest. Another point is people keep saying zombies aren't scary nowadays, especially in video games, and that's just an absolute lie. Anything can be scary if it's placed well and done well. And I think again, Resident Evil, especially the earlier games, are a very good example of that. You can go back to them and still be kind of jump scared by the even with like the tank controls and the I forget what it's called, but the camera angles being not being able to move. There's still so many awesome setups you can do to kind of get scared. Doesn't matter if there's a zombie or not. You can like things are scary if it's done well. It doesn't matter how they look really. But in that movie they end up trying to burn the bodies, which seems like a good idea because you burn the bodies, there's nothing left to be kind of undead. But unfortunately they evaporate and then they bring about a cloud that rains down, and it rains down on all the grave sites, all the graveyards, and on dead people, and that just brings back more zombies. So it really is just like a totally horrifying situation of whatever they do, they can't get rid of these zombies, and even if they try and do something smart like burn the bodies, it actually makes it even worse. Just an awesome zombie movie. Watch that if you guys haven't. It's probably my favorite. Probably. That's the thing. There's a lot of really good zombie movies. So yeah, sorry, going on a bit of a tangent there, but it's kind of similar with the kind of zombie rain here, I guess. Not exactly rain in this situation, more infected kind of water, seemingly. And then it kind of feels like their mindsets are also playing into this a bit. If it weren't for you, my leg wouldn't have got hurt. Again, surely not all of this is like, I mean, obviously the zombie stuff I think is, but surely not everybody's source of bad luck in their life is her fault. The show will go on. Maybe this is also to do with that boy's unlucky ability. Maybe because he's been mentally affected now. His unlucky ability has spread even more, or something. This Queen. Isn't there usually like a mass inquest into how plane accidents happened? Usually. And they'd usually find out the reason afterwards. Like it's like they like look into it big time. So in this instance, did they just like try and cover something up then? The only thing I can really think of, like, why is the real kind of cause of the incident with the plane not known? Should be, right? Why are we gassing these people? Are they zombies? All right, just got zombies on the streets like this. It's quite depressing, really, isn't it? All these flashy lights and everything. You know, kind of post-apocalyptic. Well, yeah, that apocalyptic kind of seeming world. Impressive driving for a zombie. Instantly just. Okay. I mean, I don't like the fact that she's got all this new stuff. But she used the old guitar, but the old guitar wouldn't have got us out of that situation, I don't think. It's like a wave of luck. So, wait a minute. Didn't fully get to take this in here because the action we just had there. So these guys have set this up. What you're telling me? Because she literally got told that this guy that this a horrible blonde geezer's talking with here. He's the one with the USB, right? So could have just obviously just given it to him now. So this is all some kind of setup to clear her name, I guess. Makes sense. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Why did the subtitle say that? I I didn't hear her say anything. I'm watching the Japanese version, so maybe that she did say something in Chinese. Oh shit. The tentacle guy's back. So he's the dean. I mean, yeah. So he's got the USB. Okay. So that guy, why did that guy that we just saw give this guy the USB? Seems like quite a bit of responsibility to give him. Graffiti. Doesn't seem like it's doing much. They're like trying to keep him in an area. Always reminds me of is it Pokemon Ranger where you like circle the Pokemon? Yeah, so kind of keep him trapped in there. Oh, gotta say, I love this soundtrack that's playing right now. Okay, that looked great, didn't it? That looked lovely. Definitely the best looking segment of this arc so far. Definitely. Kind of wondering when we're going to run into the unlucky boy. She's got some really interesting things, hasn't she? Yo-yo now. She's very kind of old school. Yo-yos, roller skates. Again, I don't like. I don't think that's the conclusion you can come to actually, unless you've got definitive proof. So his eye is like he's like half infected. Again, I can't help but think like some of the extent of this kind of perhaps stems from him and his mindset right now. That is kind of what he thinks is betrayal. So again, there was nothing said there. I wonder if this is just like the Japanese dub, just not putting these words in, and this is like subtitles for like the Chinese version, but over the Japanese version maybe. Which I'm never a big fan of, to be honest. I mean, it's not too bad in this instance. So it pause for a minute. No one bothers sorting out timer. It's not quite as bad as I mentioned before. Medalist and what was the other one? I can't remember what the other one was. Dead Demons, DDD Destruction. Both of those, I think I can't remember what studio what where they were released. It might be High Dive. I'm not sure. I don't think it is High Dive, but there's a specific kind of streaming platform that they're on that just put the subtitles as the English dub. So they'd basically just get the English dub script and put that as the subtitles for the Japanese version, whereas what they're saying is actually different. And I think that's what's happened here, but it's actually the case of these probably, I assume, the Chinese subtitles and the Japanese, like the Japanese dub is slightly different and they're not saying some of these words, so it's not quite as bad because I feel like this is probably, the subtitles are probably more accurate. It's not quite as bad as that situation, but it's still like kind of like why are there subtitles when no one's saying anything? Yeah, again, I'm not too mad at these. Like I said, nowhere near as annoying as Medalist. I love that show, and the only negative thing about that show was the subtitles just being totally inaccurate and lazy. Although I'm not really want to speak about that. But yeah. As I said, not too bad here actually. I keep saying I always wanted to actually just watch this in Chinese, but the first arc I couldn't find in Chinese, so I just kind of stuck with the Japanese version. I'm not sure it's worth switching now. So they were sitting next to each other. Well, damn, that's they accepted death quite quickly there. I mean, yeah, chance of survival. Ah, okay. This is like everybody's dreams for their like children and loved ones kind of being placed into her and amplifying her luck in that way. So they actually all wished for her to survive in a sense. Yeah. Damn. Damn, that's a powerful way to gain your abilities, isn't it? Holy shit. That is a powerful way to gain your abilities. Ah, that's why she recognized that song. Looking like Kaneki in these shots, isn't it? Like Ken. Okay. Well, that clears that up. Still not 100% sure what caused it. It does seem like it was just an accident. Why did they gotta say 180? The whole time I was thinking about Flight 180 from Final Destination. Probably the best plane crash sequence I've seen. Top 7. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. So yeah, that's what we saw then with the zombie stuff. This adverse to trust value, fear value. Makes sense. Makes sense there would be an opposite reaction to this. I don't know about you guys, but again, I'm no kind of Chinese. I don't know much about the Chinese, but do you not find this a bit like this is just like a bit horrid? A kind of classic looking structure like this with a TV on it. I don't know. Something about that doesn't seem right to me. But maybe I'm too woke. Once spread will certainly cause considerable damage. Okay, these guys, I'm pretty sure we see in the opening, right? Fear energy. So again, was all of this set up then by these guys? So all of them saying that she wanted to live a quiet life with the orphans and such was actually just a setup to get into this scenario? Seemingly. Oh, so they were also looking into fear as well? They used it in this case to amplify their goals. Okay, yeah, we definitely see that guy in that shot of the people sitting around in the opening, don't we? Okay, so yeah, we've got. I still not 100% sure about the whole kind of setup and plan from these two. Not that I care an awful lot, to be honest with you, but as pretty much a lot of the people organising stuff in the series usually evil. But yeah, interesting. I do feel like this definitely was wrapped up very swiftly. If you know what I'm saying. It felt like a very quick amount of time between everybody like against her. And I know it was a case of like it was just like as soon as the truth got out, things would be okay. But still feels like we wrapped things up very quickly here. I'm not sure how you guys feel about that, but I definitely feel like the pacing at the end here was quite fast. Really awesome scene though. This again very powerful scene. Everybody putting their kind of wishes for their loved ones, their children that they left behind into this little girl. Feel like that was actually really powerful. Another question I do have is this USB. It's it seems very much like a bit of a magic USB. Maybe there's a reason for this, but how this is probably not exactly what the USB is showing. But what information did that USB have, and who was kind of recording slash keeping that data? And was there like CCTV cameras on the plane or something? Like what was on this USB that magically cleared this all up? Is it exactly what we saw? I mean, it's definitely not because what we saw can't be seen. But like, how are you able to get this across? Everybody placing their wishes into this girl and that giving her this power. How is that meant to come across in a USB stick? Is my question. Because if it is CCTV, many cases there's no sound to go along with it, and even if there is, imagine a lot of the sound you'll hear is people screaming and people in terror and perhaps things exploding. So for me, there's a slight kind of logic gap between how, like, again, is this the angle of the CCTV camera that has captured this information on this USB? Like, where's this USB? How did this USB survive? Is another question. Where does USB come from? How, like, what information's on it? Who, like, yeah, there's a lot of questions surrounding that. I think you kind of got to take a bit of a leap of faith with this USB, haven't you? It's just like the magic kind of, as I said, it just feels very easily wrapped up, and I'm not sure coincidental is the right word, but feels like this was a tool just to kind of sort out the situation, whereas in reality I'm not sure this would ever be a thing. Have you ever heard about a piece of footage on a plane that's crashed like this? I mean, maybe there's some from someone's like phone that they've recorded, but yeah, I've got a kind of strained believer believability a little bit. Not that like with fear factors and trust value. It's not like this is the most down to earth thing ever. Like, don't get me wrong, but that is a very, I don't know. There's something a bit iffy about that to me. Other than that, though, pretty good. And like I said, quite a powerful scene. I didn't really think about that during this scene, but like now, just like having to think about it after, it's like, how did that come out of this? I look at this plane. This plane is absolutely fucked. Hardly anything's making it out of this plane except for a little girl. Yeah, some really nice action. I like this action sequence a lot. Definitely the best looking part of this arc. Although I still do feel like the first episode was definitely the best episode of this arc. Again, I couldn't really care less about these two guys, to be honest with you. So I'm not massively invested in what their plan was, or whatever. But it does seem like they were always kind of always planning to kind of, this was the end goal, if you know what I'm saying. It does feel like that maybe research and look into this fear factor and its effects, while also kind of having a kind of hero behind them and amping her up. But yeah, good episode. Not one of the best in my opinion. I feel like we've had better looking action, even though this action did look fantastic. And we have had more impactful stuff like the first episode of this arc. But good episode overall. As I said, it just feels a bit wrapped up. Not the best in my opinion, but maybe that's a very unpopular opinion. Do let me know if you guys thought about this one, though, down in the comments. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy that, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. I'll see you guys next time with episode 11.